I forgot I could do this in the Get Real group. I thought that was like a Facebook thing that I reposted, but I'm live. So I'm glad I remembered I can do this. Good to see everybody. Good to be on here. Happy New Year to everyone. And I know some people might be doing the Orthodox New Year thing and doing that a little later, but Happy New Year to everybody. Um, my thinking and why I really wanted to do this, there's a couple of things that have been on my head, on my mind. Some of you have met me before. Some of you have never met me yet. You've just new members. Um, Welcome, everybody. I feel like some of you are super close friends to me now since I started this business, and some of you are possibly new friends to be had. I do like working with people that I like. I know that people say you shouldn't be mixing business and friendship and all of that, but I don't function that way. And the more that you know me, the more that you realize that my heart opens to people, and I try to be here. So that builds that kind of friendship. So I know there's people in this group that I have laughed with. There are people in this group that I have cried with. There are people in this group that I've laughed, cried with. The latter being my favorite. Love that the most. So I wanted to come on and talk about, what New Year's means to me, what New Year's means to the community, what New Year's means to Gray Models and Talent, and the kind of things. There's been some changes, and there's some things coming up. So I just kind of wanted to address all that. Beginning with, when New Year's happens to me, and I don't know, I can't possibly be alone in this, but I immediately start to take stock of how my last year was and what I could do better and maybe what I can do moving forward, and kind of think about a year plan, and try and always, build, always improve, always make it a little more enriched. So I'm sure you're all doing the same thing. I'm sure there's plenty of you that feel that you're making New Year's resolutions. I personally don't do that. I believe that those are things that are meant to make everyone scold themselves regularly. I don't want to do that. So I don't really do the resolution thing. Some people will swear by it, but most of the people I know end up dropping their resolutions and quitting. So why put yourself through that? I just don't see the purpose. I don't want to do that. So instead, I do look back, and I think about everything that I could be doing, and that's why some of you that are signed to me, I put a survey up in the Sign to Gray portion of this community, and that's there so that you can give me some touch base, give me some feedback, let me know not just how I'm doing, but also there's questions in there about how are you doing. Are you prepared? Are you okay with this? Do you need my help with something? That's what it's there for, because sometimes people are doing things and they're moving forward and they're progressing, and I don't even know it. So I kind of wanted to find out, how are you? Are you in coaching that I don't know about? Are you getting new photos that I didn't get? Things like that. I need to know so that we can all thrive and we can all do really, really well. But one of the things that did hit my brain starting in December, it might have been a little earlier than that. It might have been more like Thanksgiving. People had been coming to me and talking to me about how disenchanted they are with the industry. And yeah, okay, we can use the excuse of COVID over and over again. And COVID did its thing, and it really isn't affecting things as much now, although some places are still asking to be vaccinated if you're talent. That's still part of it, and it's a limitation for some people. But there's still projects going on again. The rebirth has been occurring, and people are ignoring any such thing. So things are moving forward there. But some of my people have been feeling really disenchanted. Like, I don't know if the wheels didn't turn fast enough or what it's been. And I think strongly about one of my talent that was talking to me, and it occurred to me, what's going on here? Why is this happening? Why are people starting to feel this way? And who wants to end the year on a downer and then go, yeah, okay, just because it's New Year's Eve and a ball dropped and we had some champagne, and all of a sudden I'm energized and ready to go. I don't think everybody just flips that switch so easily. So I wanted to see if I can, help you flip the switch. I want to see if we can, give you a little hope, a little inspiration, maybe get the creative juices flowing, kind of take an inventory of, who you are as a talent now, who it is you want to be as a talent, and where those spaces are in between. So that's kind of what I really wanted to talk about. I have felt like many people have been spending their time spinning their wheels, grasping at straws. And I'm a non-exclusive agency. So, everybody's free to do whatever else they want to do. And I don't take commission from anything else they're doing outside my agency. That's not my business to do that. But I applaud people's efforts. I applaud people's ambition level. But when you start grasping at straws too much and trying to reach out and find things that aren't really there as opportunities, or they're not part of the real industry, what I've seen that do to people is it causes them to feel very disenchanted. It has caused them to feel unempowered. Is that a word? Is that the correct word? Disempowered? Without power. It has caused people to feel very frustrated with finding their own way. And I've noticed that time and time again. So I kind of want to talk about how to, circumvent that, how to keep that from happening, how to start moving in a positive direction, how to keep that momentum going in a positive direction, and applaud your baby steps, because baby steps are steps. So even if you can only do a little bit a day because you have a normal day job and you're really super busy and the holidays are going on, all of that stuff that's been happening happens. It's life. So applaud your baby steps because they're necessary for forward progression. I try to make leaps and bounds every day. It doesn't work all the time. But I do wake up and try to do as much as I possibly can. But that's my whole job. That's my full-time job, is to do this. It's not all of your full-time jobs, nor should it be necessarily in smaller markets. And a lot of you are in smaller markets, which is where I feel like that's my strength in helping people. So don't get too disenchanted by giving yourself of unrealistic expectation of what you should be doing or what people should be doing for you. That's something that I find is really, really important. We all know the definition of insanity: beating your head over and over again, doing the same things the same way, and expecting different results. It's the definition of insanity. We've heard this before. So is that what you've been doing? Take stock of yourself here and wonder if what you've been doing is the same thing over and over again. I'm talking a lot to models right here. No, it's actors too, but we'll talk about models and we'll talk about actors. A lot of my models have been doing the same things, which means they've been going to the same shows that are non-paid shows, and walking these runways for the same people year after year after year. They are doing contests and things that they pay to participate in on a small scale level, where really the people that are watching aren't even people that are worthy of giving you a real opportunity. So I've seen a lot of that, and it's them wanting to do something. Everybody just wants to do something. But the more that you're doing something, maybe you're not spending time in what could be more productive because you're focusing on that something. So same thing with photos. I have noticed over and over and over again that models try and do a cheap photo shoot. They try and do a TFP photo shoot or 100 TFP photo shoots, and they think that this is going to help them become professional. And where this comes into play is as not going to work. We'll go back to the fashion shows. If you're walking in the fashion shows that you're paying for or that are free, those people are not there to train you to walk. They're not going to. So you can be on the runway making mistakes that you don't even know you're making because that's all you've been wanting to do. And they tell you were great. They tell you you're amazing. You feel empowered. You feel fantastic because it's self-confidence boosting. It always is, but you don't even know what you're doing wrong. So then these pictures end up on the internet and I end up looking at them if I hadn't attended the show itself and noticing bad hand positions, bad feet positions, people that are swinging their arms inappropriately, other things that are really, really terrible, wearing the wrong underwear underneath a garment, having the wrong nail polish on. I've seen pasties through clothing this year. I've seen camel toes. I've seen on the runway. So there are some things that have been happening that shouldn't be happening. And if that's you and that's what you've been doing, it's not going to show you off well that that's on social media. So you'll feel good. You'll feel like a model, but you're really not doing the work and not becoming a professional. Now, the TFP shoots. I don't know the last time that I booked somebody, if I've ever booked somebody from a TFP shoot with those kind of photos. I've booked some people from, real life stuff, like real people photos. I've done that, sure, because there's real people castings. But when it comes to modeling jobs, I don't know that I've ever had anyone say, oh, that looks like she was working. I want to hire her because she looks professional after TFP shoots. It doesn't work that way. And the reasoning is it doesn't look like an ad. There's a lot of stuff out there that's sexy, but I don't know the last time anyone was paying you for your skin thigh thing. I don't know the last time anyone was paying anybody for their behind, like just their behind. Like I see pictures like this all the time, just behinds. I've seen so much butt this year. It's crazy. Yeah, not a lot of butt jobs. I'm not getting those kind of calls. So that would be something you might want to steer away from. You might want to gear your marketing to being something other than I'm just sexy, attractive. Being more commercial, being more fashion. Looking at magazines, seeing what those pictures look like. If you start making your marketing look like advertisements, they'll believe that you have been working and they're more apt to hire you. So try to gear that a different way instead of wasting your time. If you invest in one photo shoot and spend, $300-400 and you make $1,200 back, then that's a smart move. If you've gone to shoot after shoot after shoot after shoot after shoot and made nothing, that doesn't help anybody. So put that into consideration. The same thing with headshots. I don't know how many times I've said to people, you really need to go get a professional headshot because if you don't, you don't look professional. Well, when you don't look professional, there's somebody who kind of sort of looks like you who looks professional, and they'll hire them every time. Now, I know that, the past year, my brother wasn't traveling very much and everybody was, when's he going to shoot? When can he shoot me? All that stuff. And I appreciate that. You all know I don't know if everybody knows, but my dad had cancer and he passed away in June. So now my brother is no longer a caregiver and that has freed him up. So there's a lot of backup stuff that he's had to do now that he's free. He's gotten very, very busy. So we're trying to, he came here once to North Carolina. We're trying to set some dates for this upcoming year for him to come back here again and also to go to Florida. We have some need to go there. So that's in the works. Other places where he's stopped before. He has been to New York. He has been to Alabama. He has been to Georgia, Atlanta. So, it might be that somewhere along the path line, he could stop and do those things as well. So that's all in the works. We're all planning that stuff. But if you don't want to wait for that and you need recommendations of people that you can talk to or that you could shoot with, let me know. I am totally happy to comparison shop those services for you if I don't already have a go-to person, which I might. Those of you who have signed to me or been through the New Faces meeting, there's a talent manual that you can access and it has some recommendations in there. They might not all be in your area. So if you need me to kind of hone in onto where you are and find somebody good for you, I'll do some homework and do that. So let me know. I can't help people that haven't asked me to help. So ask me to help and I will. I can't assume and know. This past year, I don't know if you guys saw this. I went as a wizard for Halloween because I truly believe that not everyone, that a lot of people feel that I am magical. And I can make amazing things happen just by wishing them or something, waving a magic wand, having some spells, any of that stuff, which I'm not real good at. I tell people my crystal ball's in the shop all the time and then I have no idea what's going to happen next, which is true. But what I did that for is because I don't make your opportunities appear. I'm more like a squirrel. I run around trying to find them. I'm going to try and find out where we can get some more opportunities for you. How can I do that? How can I find them? So if you don't picture me as the wizard that makes them and creates them, but rather as the squirrel who's running around gathering nuts. And some of that activity you don't see me doing because, who knows how long it takes me to, search through these casting notices, seeing which ones are to people that I'm actually signed, that are signed to me, and trying to find ones that are, out there somewhere, and then making sure I have the right context for them, and making sure I get all the information, and making sure that I've, touched base with the casting people. I do a lot of this squirrel stuff that you don't see. And that's how I spend my day, like a squirrel gathering. My chicks are getting chubby. So don't expect the wizard from me. Like I can't be the wizard. I would love to, but I can't. I do sometimes try to create stuff, and I do from time to time. And I would really love to start Raleigh Durham Fashion Week again. I'm going to try and put that into my calendar for this year, being that things are coming back to normal, so that we can have some opportunities for everybody in this area. I'm sorry to say that Naples Fashion Week is probably not going to happen. Beth has kind of refocused herself back to the Boston area, where her husband has his recording studio, and that's kind of where her brain has gone back. I think that the hurricane had an effect on that as well. So anyway, I am doing the squirrel thing, just so you know. I'm not taking like amazing amounts of days off. In fact, it's very, very rare that I take a full day off. I'm not good at it. I'm not good at it. I wake up in the morning thinking about this job. It's career, passion, whatever you want to call it. I get up in the morning thinking about this, and then I go to bed at night thinking about this, and I do it all the time. And if I take a day off, I feel like I should be doing something else, which sometimes I try. I really do try. The holidays forced me to slow down. So I've done that, and then that makes me feel like backed up on stuff. And so now I'm back to running at full speed ahead. That's what I'm up to. So with all of this grasping at straws, with all of this insanity, what is it that we can do? I mentioned not doing the TFP shoots and trying to find a better photographer, and how I can help you in that area. That's the marketing side of things, partially. There's other stuff that can be done too. Do you have your own website? There's ways to do that cheaply. I use Namecheap to get my domain names, and they're like cheap. Cheap. And then creating I had a Wix website for years. I did outgrow their service. I couldn't possibly use it anymore, but for just a simple basic website, they're inexpensive. So make an acting website, make a modeling website, have that kind of presence. Check your social media stuff. Are you updating it regularly? I do recommend to talent that the stacking photos on Instagram are not as smart as making one post with one photo and then waiting while putting it in a rotation of other shoots that you might have had, and then populating it again. So as people are looking at it, it doesn't seem redundant. It's not like you've gone, oh, here's everything. Look at everything I've done, and now you can't use that shoot anymore because then it's redundant. So dabble it, touch it a little bit, do that, and that'll build it and make it seem like more posts instead of less posts. So that's a possibility. Work on your social media, get that going. Create content. I know some of you have seen in for Christmas and for New Year's, we did a McSassy Says, and I have to hats off to McSassy. She's also a McKinley joiner if you want to see her in the group. But she's this lovely little powerhouse of a girl who I showed her a video, and it inspired her. It was a little girls TV show with Amanda Bynes. It was Amanda. I think it was called Amanda. I showed her a snippet of that, which was introduced to me by Jasmine. So shout out to Jasmine for this too. But see how this creative ball starts rolling. So Jasmine mentions Amanda Bynes and how much she loved her. I watched some Amanda Bynes stuff. I mentioned it to McSassy. McSassy looks at that and says, I want to make my own show. So, we're talking elementary school here, not even middle school. I want my own show. I want to make my own show. And then I said, okay, so what's it about? She's like, well, I want to call it McSassy Says, and I want to give advice. And she's like, I want to give advice on fashion and family and fun stuff. So can I do this? And, maybe I'll bring my friends in and we'll give them advice, and it'll be lots of fun. And I went, okay, sure. So we made a list of what all of her ideas are, of what she wants to do for each of her different episodes. I think we've got that figured out through, I want to say March, might be April or May. Yeah, definitely April. Not sure about May. But she's got all of her episodes in her head. We've done 2. I helped write them. I put them into Studio Binder and wrote the script out, sent it off to her and her mom. They went out and did some shots and then sent it all back to me with some ad-libbing stuff in there and her own personality in there. So it's now co-written. Mom did the camera work. I think Dad might have too, don't know for sure. He definitely like threw confetti over her head. So he pushed her through the store while she's doing her shopping for holiday fashions. And I did the editing. So we've been doing this. Why? Because I believe that if I show it to the right people, it could get her somewhere. And I think that all of you could do that too. Take your ideas, make your own content, be inspired by McSassy to do this yourself and create your content. Add in, some fun. And if you want my help on it, I don't mind doing that. It's just, let's hear your ideas. I'm all for it. Some of you in the group, if you talk to each other and network amongst each other, some of you, aren't just talent. Some of you do production and some of you like to do behind the scenes stuff. And, why don't you collaborate here? Could very easily happen. A couple of years ago, not this past Christmas, but I think the year before, or maybe it was a year before that, we did this great Christmas thing, which is still in the group if you ever want to look at it. But it's a Christmas Carol kind of thing. And we did it on Zoom. These actors didn't even work together ever before. They hadn't stood in the same room. I had a script. We sent it out. I cast the parts. They filmed it on Zoom with backgrounds and costuming. And then I got the files from the recordings of Zoom. They had no other people in the Zoom. It was just them talking. And then I edited it together so that it looks like they're in the same room having the same conversation. I just found them similar backgrounds, but a different side of the room. And then we put it all together. So we created something. You could create something to get some people's attention. Not that it's not just great practice, because it is great practice. And it is also, fun for people to see. And who knows if something goes viral. I mean, I heard about some guy that was just skateboarding and put the right song behind it. And then all of a sudden he ended up like everybody was watching it and he got endorsements and all this other stuff because he drank something. I think it was a water. I don't remember. But yeah, he was on his way to work on his skateboard and he just decided to do this and posted it. So you don't know what's going to happen with these algorithms. You don't know what's going to happen with people liking your stuff. You have no idea. But if you don't make the stuff and don't put it there, it's not going to happen. So create. You're all creative people. There's no reason not to. Dustin Hoffman, I think it was, said that actors go to acting class so that they have an audience. That's what they do. And that they need an audience so that they feel like they're doing something. But I kind of disagree, because I think somebody that really wants to act could be acting in their closet and they won't care. Like the actors that I know will act whenever, wherever, take them to the CVS, they're going to act. They're going to do this stuff all the time. And they don't even need the audience. But if you get some of this stuff, put it on video, put it out there, build your name, build your following, let people see you. That's the only way we can really truly appreciate it. And I pay attention. I watch. I look at your Instagrams when I know where they are. I have communities in here where you can post stuff. If you did a monologue, let's see your monologue. If you have new photos, let's see your photos. I want to be able to have everybody, have feedback on that, and that's great practice and it's great learning. And then if there's something there that we could still use, we'll pull it, we'll use it to market you. So why not create? The talent manual that I give to everybody has a link to my monologue book, and some of you have done some of the monologues for me, and that's been phenomenal and fantastic. I want to see more. I'd love to see more of that. Utilize it if you want to, or go to ysanity.net and pull up some of those. There's monologues there, and it says it's monologues, but some of them are also scenes, or use something that you had as like an old audition for, something that was, a year ago or 2 years ago that you're not going to get in trouble for using it and posting it somewhere. if it's been cast in film, then go for it. You probably have some stuff. Utilize it. Make some content. Keep yourself growing. Another thing, other than creating, it amazes me how many talent don't read. And I don't mean my casting notices, and I don't mean my emails, because there's a lot of people that don't do that too, which I really wish they would. It's like I spend so much time writing this stuff up or seeking it out or whatever. I would love for more people to read, but I mean anything that will grow you, anything that will enhance you, anything that will boost your creativity or your skill level, what have you. There's a lot of acting coaches who have books out there that are for actors. There's a lot of modeling books out there that are for models. There's a lot of that stuff. And I do believe that anywhere you look, there's golden nuggets. There's just golden nuggets. People have golden nuggets all over the place, and we should all be looking for golden nuggets. So in those books, you're going to find things, and some of it's going to apply to you and some of it's not, depending on who wrote it. If it's some LA acting coach, things are going to be different in LA than maybe your hometown. If it's New York model, things are going to be different in New York than your hometown. But there's still those golden nuggets. So go grab them. You gather those up like ice squirrel. That's what you should be doing. I talk to so many models that don't subscribe to fashion magazines. It's like, how could you not have your finger on that pulse? You need to have your finger on that pulse. And they're like, well, I look at their Instagrams. And it's like, okay, well, that's really okay, but it's really not the same, because you're getting little bits and pieces, because they do still want you to subscribe to get everything. And it's a great way to subscribe. They're not even expensive. I think my Vogue was like $12 for the year. It's really not a big deal. And then they keep sending me deals about how I can even give a gift subscription to somebody. So go ahead, do that so that you can pay attention and analyze the photos and think about the styling. Go on to other websites of like your dream agency. Look at your dream agency and decide if your stuff and the things that you're doing look like that. If that's where you want to go, you got to mimic that. There's a reason why they do things the way they do them. So look at things with a critical eye and learn from them. Grab those golden nuggets. Read amazing things. A couple of things that I was reading last year. 101 Things I Learned in Film School. I recommend. It's short little blurbs of stuff, but if you want to be really appealing as a talent, it's really smart to know what the producers are thinking. What are they looking for? What are they doing? What are the writers looking for? What are they doing? So if you're in tune to what it was they learned in film school, you'll understand more about what it is you need to be doing to be appealing to them. So highly recommend that. It's really easy read. It's like, flip a page, open it up, read it, give yourself food for thought for the day. They're usually one little line or, a little paragraph, and then you do it again the next day. So 100 days, you'll learn something a third of the way through the year. It'd be great. It'd be done. Another thing I read that I loved, and I know some people were going, no, I don't think so, but I thought was wonderful. I loved Green Lights, Matthew McConaughey. Talk about a phenomenal insight into that. I'm also reading For the Boys, which is Ron Howard's family story. So those are all really great reads. Other things, I know Margie Haber came out with a new book. I think it's F Your Comfort Zone or something like that. Like, seriously, that's what it's called, I think. Her other one was How to Get the Part Without Falling Apart. And then Lori Wyman has The Organic Actor. So there's lots and lots of books and things that you could be looking at. Models. Everybody knows I love Coco Rocha's Study of Pose, Art of Pose, whatever it is. Her pose book. It's a fat thing like this with all of her little poses in it. And I went little because it makes me think of my figurines. I think I've shown these before, but anyway, so many little figurines. Somebody made 3D models of all of her little poses, and I bought some because I just thought they were really neat. They're my Green Army Men of modeling. But these are things that you should be doing. Watching videos about photography, watching videos about auditions, watching videos about, what advice actors gave, all of that stuff. Do that constantly. That's going to help you a great deal to know where their mind goes, where their eye goes, what it is that they're seeing that maybe you don't see, and it'll polish you. So read and learn and watch. Spend some time every day trying to find something that can be that simple. But it could be 5 minutes that you've taken to do that. That's something that will change your perspective maybe a little bit and help you to become more professional and polished. Finding the holes. I gave myself little notes, so I keep looking down there because I have little notes. I don't want to forget anything. When I say finding the holes in what it is that you should have done or should be doing that you haven't done yet, or what it is that you did but didn't do super well that maybe we can make it better. Where's the holes? It's kind of like cheese. Where's your Swiss cheese holes that are causing bubbles in your progress? Now, is there something that like right off the top of your head, right off the bat? Combine those, that didn't work at all. Is there something that when I say this, you're like, oh, I'm guilty of that. I didn't pay attention to that. I have a accountability worksheet for actors and for models, and if anyone needs it and wants it, let me know, because I really think that if you have something where you've decided, I'm going to be accountable. And some people like to have an accountability buddy, somebody that they can turn to all the time and say, you got it, Janae. Janae signed today and she wants my resources. Fabulous. If there's something that, that you need to work on, it's going to show up in this. You can go every day and go, okay, this is what I ate. This is my exercise. This is what I did for my business. This is what I did for networking. This is what I worked on practice-wise. It's all there in black and white. And the interesting thing about the accountability worksheet is 90% of the time that I've given it out to people and said, do this for a week. And by that I meant a business week. So we were talking 5 days, although I think somebody actually did it for 7. But 90% of the time, people are so not accountable that they don't even do it for the week. Like they don't. Either they don't want to face what they haven't been doing and they want to ignore it and put it aside and be like, okay, I'm just not going to pay attention to that. They don't want to face the reality of what it is that they should be doing that they're not doing. And this sheet will show you that to you. It will show you the ugly truth. Or you can look at it and go, oh, I've been doing really good in this area, but this one I haven't been doing so good. So I maybe need to shift some gears a little bit and try to touch on that a little bit more. So, even if you're doing absolutely great and you look at it and go, I did absolutely great. What a wonderful thing. Okay, end of the week, you went, I nailed it. I did absolutely great. Giving yourself that pat on the back, letting yourself say, yes, I did good. That's going to keep you motivated. That's going to keep you wanting to do more, do it more, do it more, do it more, do it more. If you keep full speed ahead with all that motivation all the time, how could you not grow? How could you not have a better year than last year when it comes to your career? You'd have to. Action gets results. That's the way it is. If there's no action, there's no results. People need to be taking action. Action takes energy. How do you get energy? Taking care of yourself will get you energy. Doing something well, boosting your confidence about it, that's going to give you more energy. So do those baby steps, even if they're baby steps, because it will cause more momentum as you move forward. One of the things I thought about looking back, not just this past year, but the year before, I thought about the COVID days. The COVID days when we all went, oh, lockdown, what are we going to do? Oh, no. And some of me misses it a little bit. I have to admit, some of me misses it a little bit. And the reason why I miss it is because we really did have an opportunity to stop running full force all the time and being so accountable to everybody else in the world. And we had a chance to go a little inward. And I don't know if that's what everybody else did, but this is something that I know I did. And that kind of inward reflection made me feel like, okay, I'm gonna put the gas mask on for a little bit so that I can take care of everybody else. Because it's a female thing, I'm sure, but I'm sure that men do this too, is that we try to take care of everybody else so much that sometimes the gas mask isn't on, and we're, like the airplane. It's what they say, put the gas mask on you before you do the baby, so that you're alive to help. And I think that some of us allow ourselves to just get drained constantly by not putting our own gas mask on. And we need it. We really truly need it. So somewhere along the line, there's got to be a balance of that. How much you're doing to please everybody else in the world, and how much you're doing to take care of yourself. Because when you're in this business, you're your product. You're what you're selling. You are all you've got. If something's wrong with you or something's not going right with you, you're going to be off your game. Period. So allow yourself to be that little self-centered for the sake of, maybe it's the greater good. A lot of my actors are talking about how they want to create and they want to tell stories and they want to inspire. And then eventually when they, have enough money because they've become successful in this industry, they want to do something with a charity or they want to give back. That's a lot of people's mind frame. It's sometimes the selfishness isn't actually selfish. It comes from a place of wanting to be able to do more, to give more, to live a better life, a more fulfilled life by being able to contribute. So nothing wrong with that, but it's not going to happen if you don't take care of you in the first place. So make sure you do that. Make sure you spend time with that. And I'm glad Janae said she wants the accountability worksheet. Yay, cool. Because progress builds encouragement, not just from yourself, but from others. And I don't know, this is a really rough business to be in when it comes to other people's opinions. There's a lot of naysayers. And I don't know how many of you have those naysayers in your life that aren't totally supportive of this. And they think it's a pipe dream and are like, you're never going to make it. Oh, it's so hard to make it in this business. What's your definition of making it? Have you clearly identified what your own personal definition of making it is? I hate quotes, but this time I needed it. So making it. Is the person that's speaking to you about how difficult it is to make it, do they have the same definition of making it as you do? Do they know your definition of making it? Are they talking about something completely different from what you even want? It's very possible that their idea of making it is not the same as yours. So they're discouraging something that they're probably afraid of. They don't want to see you fail. They don't want to see you fall flat on your face. They don't want to see you whatever. And Jim Carrey's dad was wanting to be a stand-up comedian. This is an old story. You both probably heard it. Jim Carrey's dad wanted to be a stand-up comedian. And he was probably very funny, considering Jim Carrey's very funny. And he didn't try because he was told he needed a real job. Okay, so he got a real job. He was an insurance guy. And after devoting his entire life to this insurance company, the insurance company folded. And he said, I could have failed at something I loved doing instead of failing at something I didn't love doing. So what's the point of that? Ultimately, the end of the day, here's a New Year's thing to say. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's going to be up to you what you do with your life. It's going to be up to you when you're at the end of your life. And you may be very young right now and you're going, oh, that's a long time away. I don't have to think about that now. But you do, because you're going to look back. Everybody looks back. And we all wonder, did we do it good enough? Did we do it well? Did we give it 100%? Did we have an amazing life? If you believe in the pearly gates, are you going to go up to the pearly gates and go, yeah, I did okay. That was good. Or are you going to go, I gave it everything. I had an amazing time creating and living and trying. It's the journey, not the destination. And it was wonderful. And I met amazing creative people. This industry is filled with fun, wacky, creative, interesting, motivating, moving people that want to give heart and soul to things. We like to watch film and we like to watch TV because we enjoy the sharing of a commonality. We resonate with the story, or we imagine what it would be like if we knew the people in the story, or we want to be moved by their story. We want to hug them. We want to take care of the characters. We want to pinch their cheeks. We want to laugh with them. We want to have a sleepover at their house. Any of those things. That's what grabs us, because it's common humanity, and we love that, and that's why everybody's in this business. Is because they love that, and they love creating that with other people, and they love influencing. And when people are making a lovely photo, they're trying to move the viewer. They want to make something that makes you think, oh, what were they doing? What were they going through? Oh, I just caught them in this moment. Look at their fun moment. Anything like that, where we feel like we're happy just looking at it, or we're touched just looking at it, or maybe it brings up some longing in us. We want to feel. That's why we do this stuff. So it's all about feeling. So if you're going through a life that's not providing you with that kind of a thing, I can't imagine. I can't imagine the life in a cubicle. I can't. It's just so not me. The lives, some people have lives that suck the life out of them. They have no energy because they're not living their best life. And it might be those naysayers telling you no. I had one girl whose mom was scared of her moving on to fulfill this path. And she really wants to move to LA, and she really wants to do acting, and she's won awards for her acting. So she's good. She's really good. She's beautiful, absolutely beautiful in her acting ability and in her personality and in her appearance. She's just beautiful. And her mom's scared. And that's totally understandable. Fear is a factor that stops people from all sorts of things. And she's, influencing her fear onto her daughter because she's worried that she's going to go out there and not make it. So instead, she went to college. She went to college for theater. She hates theater, doesn't want to do theater, hates it. And I had this wonderful conversation with her where I said, so your mom's aware that after you spend all this time and effort and energy, and she's got grants, so it's not that much money, but some money, to go through college that you hate for years. Your mom's aware that when you're done, you're going to go, right? You're going to go out to LA. That's what you're going to do. And she went, well, yeah. So she's just prolonging the inevitable, pretty much. Like, well, what good does that do? What good does that do? And I asked her questions, the common questions. And if you're really ready and you're not going yet, what's holding you back? And I said, is the grants something that you could do again? Could you get them back if you needed to come back? And she went, well, yeah, I could have them back. So I'm like, so there's no loss there. She's like, right. Okay. So I said, really, this is just kind of like the mom thing. And I'm like, what I tell all my young people, especially my 20-year-olds, if you're ready to leave the nest and your parents are scared that you're leaving the nest and you're going to go far, give them $500. Give your mom, give your dad, give your family member $500 and say, this is my parachute money. This is my parachute money. If I'm going to fail and I need you to bail me out, it won't come out of your pocket. It's coming out of mine. So you hold on to it for me, because if I need that plane ticket, it won't take away from you having to, fix your car or whatever. It won't be an emergency fund that isn't your own emergency fund. Give it to someone you trust and say, that's there. And then you'll know you're safe with that you're going to be okay. So give them the parachute. That will help them feel better. That's a really important thing. But know that the parachute's there. So the next thing that this lovely actress said to me was, she's like, well, yeah, worst case scenario, I can always come back and go back to school. And I said, so are you admitting to me right now that you are living your worst case scenario? And she said, you didn't just say that. And I said, no, you did. You said that. Do we want to live our worst case scenario saying that's okay? I mean, life might seem like it's a lot of it ahead of you, but it's not. It's fleeting. It goes really fast. Ask anybody over 50. They'll go, oh, wow, that just seems like yesterday. Been doing a lot of reminiscing with my best friend. Oh, we were in 5th grade together. We were best friends since we were 10. So yeah, there's a lot of reminiscing to be done there. It goes by in a flash. It goes by in a blink. Use it every day, the present. It's a gift. Use it to the best of your ability. See what it is that you can do. Don't let it go by acting like it's not important. Your life is important. It's important to you. It's important to whoever you touch. It's important to whoever loves you. Wouldn't your family be just so happy to know that you're happy rather than that you're settling? Nobody wants to settle. Yeah. I don't want my talent to settle. I have an agency full of lovely people, talented people, lots of people. Are they settling? Are they sending in submissions that make them go, oh, it's okay. Oh, it's okay. It's good. Or are they going, yeah, that's the one. I nailed it. It's awesome. Are you settling? Are you going, well, I kind of sort of like my photos. Oh, okay. Or are you going, look at that. I didn't even know I could look that good. Is that really, that's me? Oh, I did good. That's amazing. What are you doing? Are you being mediocre? Are you applauding mediocrity? Are you saying mediocrity is fine? It's not fine. If you don't want a mediocre life, it's not fine. So, okay. McKinley, it's so nice that you're here and watching. And Janelle, I don't know if you knew I talked about you, but I used you as an example of what an amazing thing that you're doing. It's just absolutely great. Absolutely great. I saw something. It was very fascinating to me. Deepak Chopra was on an old episode of Oprah. Really cool. And he told her that your mind can create your reality. And that sounds like a, floofy kind of thing. Like The Secret. Let's all watch The Secret and decide that that's what happens. But he had a string and he had a metal washer on the end of the string. So that string is hanging there. And he told Oprah to hang it. Just hold it still. Still. So she's holding it still and it's hanging by the string. And I almost thought about like putting this all together and doing this, but I hadn't tried it yet. Everybody should try this and then tell me how it goes. So he's got the string and he's got this washer. And he said, now I want you to imagine that the washer's going from side to side. And strangely, it starts going from side to side. Her hand does not look like it's moving at all, but the washer is now going side to side. And he's like, okay, now I want you to imagine it going the other direction. So instead of it going right to left, all of a sudden it starts going left to right. The next thing, he says, imagine it going in circles. And it started to go in circles. What your mind can create will happen. What your mind can create will happen. So if your mind is busy creating negative thoughts, negative energies, or disbelief, it's probably going to happen. If you want to look for negative, you will find it. If you want to look for positive, you will find it. I heard a man talking about how he was teaching people to canoe. And at first he was telling them about all the obstacles. Don't hit that rock. Don't hit that tree. And guess what they do? And I do mean like log, like not like a tree, but log. Some trees. Okay. Sometimes there's a tree in a river. But he was telling them not to hit this stuff. And every single time they just look right at it and go, bam, smack right into it. Because they're looking for the trouble that would gear them straight towards it. So he started to tell them to instead look for the open space. He'd be like, there's an open space. There's an open space. That's a safe passage over there. And then they started going that way. And people stopped running into stuff. Much better plan. Much better plan. So I found the pendulum thing fascinating. I found the canoe story fascinating. There's two other examples that came to mind. One example is car shopping. When you're car shopping and some salesman shows you some car that you either like or don't like, but you really didn't think about it before. Like it was not on your radar. You weren't considering that car. Never really looked at it, never really thought about it. And then all of a sudden you're driving around and there's that car like all over the place. All of these cars, all of a sudden you see them, they're everywhere. You weren't looking before. It wasn't on your radar. So now you're looking and you see it. Sometimes we have to open up our focus, open up our awareness and say, okay, this might be something I'm not looking at right now that I need to be looking at. And use that in your career. There's something there that you might not be looking at that you need to be looking at. Maybe there's someplace you haven't gone. Maybe there's people you haven't networked with. Maybe there's people that you haven't talked to. Maybe there's a film festival nearby. I have one woman that was telling me she's volunteering next weekend at a film festival. Maybe there's a film festival nearby with a whole bunch of people you don't even know yet that you should be going to. Whether you volunteer to go so you get in for free or whether you buy a ticket, go. Meet these people with common interests. You know, I don't like people that get all wrapped up in theater. I like the people. I don't like it when people get all wrapped up in theater because then I can't use them as often. But still getting out there to know those theater people and maybe doing a play here or there or maybe once a year wouldn't be a bad idea. Go do an indie film. Be careful about that, though. Very careful. Make sure you've seen this person's work. Because if you haven't seen their work and you don't think that they're going to be good about it, and ladies, be safe. Some people had some scary situations this year, but they were glad they brought friends. So that's what probably kept things okay. So make sure if you're doing things like indie films and that kind of thing, you know, that you're doing that safely. But who knows who you can meet? There's a whole community of people probably with a common interest that maybe you don't know yet. So start mingling. Let yourself be known. Now that this COVID thing is over, start networking with the other possible communities that are out there. Some Facebook groups are, you know, worth it, and some of them are not. You know, some of them have genuine opportunities in them. Some of them are just over and over what? Be discerning. Pick and choose. Pick and choose who you want to align yourself with and what you want to do with your time and who you think is quality. If you stay with quality people, your quality will stay up. If you start going with people whose quality is lesser, then you're going to probably go down. Keep going up. Okay. So the other example, last example about vision is, and I'm gonna trick you all. I haven't done this over the internet before, but we'll just say it. If you look around the room right now and find everything you can that's red. Once you find everything you can that's red, take a minute, look around. Okay, now close your eyes. Name something green. See what I did there? You can open your eyes. Could you easily come up with something green? Or did your brain go red? Lots of people can't come up with anything green after you tell them to focus on the reds. Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. Keep your heart open. Keep your mind open. And look through this year as that kind of a process. You know, what is it I need to honestly look at it myself? What is it I need to look at with others? How do I find the people that I want to align myself with? How do I keep moving forward in their directions? Anybody that's had success to the level that you hope to obtain is someone that you should listen to. Anyone who didn't have success in the level that you hope to obtain, you can take their advice maybe kind of sort of a little bit, but be aware it's going to limit you to their level of success. Find those that are above where you want to be. Find those who know how to get people above where you want to be. Above where you want to be. Like even better than where you thought you could set your sights. Imagine that. How's that going to change things? That would change things. I put that survey in. I put that survey in, and I'm getting some feedback that I really like. And I asked myself, very carefully ask myself before I even hit share. I ask myself, do you really want to do this? and the reason why I had to do that to myself is because I know I can get defensive. I can be like, I didn't do that. That didn't happen. I deserve a better rating than this. Why don't I have all fives? I get like a little funky about it. But I thought, okay, if I'm getting criticism, can I take it openly? Can I take it honestly to heart? Can I try to learn something from it? And I'm still asking myself that when I read things. I am. I know I am. But there's been some things where I went, wow, I don't think that applies. When I do my New Faces meetings, when I was doing my New Faces meetings, one of the things that I said was there's a lot of people out there that don't want to do anything to better themselves or help themselves. Their ambition level isn't high enough to do the work. And when their ambition level isn't high enough to do the work, they're going to blame me. I say this in my New Faces meetings, hoping that, it's kind of a disclaimer if somebody's going to be like that. And there's been a couple of those. And it made me say, okay, do they need to be more motivated by me? Do I need to help motivate them some more so that they can do the things to better themselves? Or will that be me being insane and beating my head against a wall because they're really not going to do anything? And then they're going to blame me. So I'm kind of, when I see that that's what's happening, because, I ask those first questions about how am I doing? And then I ask the questions about how are you doing? Are you doing what you need to do? And if that one half of the pendulum isn't swinging at all, it doesn't work. It's the help me help you thing, that if you're doing what you need to do, then I can help you even more because you're giving me what I need you to give me. Are you reading the talent manual and seeing the websites that you should be on for castings? Are you making sure your resume is up to date and in the gray format, which is also linked in the talent manual? Are you looking at the resources that are in there? Are you reading the advice? Have you dug into that and then finding even other stuff, even more stuff, more resources, more stuff to make you the best you possibly can be? Are you doing your part in that? Because the more that you do that, the more I can help you. It's funny. Some people, I feel like I'm really connected with them, and they're the ones that I see are doing the most for their career. Those are the ones that I feel like we're on the same page. Like, me now, and I know you now, and we're all good. Those are the people that I feel so like we're in this together with. And then some people are like crickets, and then they show up every once in a while and go, zap me. Like, oh, I didn't do something right. Okay. And then I have to go, am I being defensive? Or are they right? Or is it really that they're blaming me for what they're not doing? I had to go through that. And some of them I went, I think this is a two-way street here. So if you feel like the brakes got put on a little bit, or things got slowed down, or things like that, if you're starting to feel lethargic and you're starting to feel lousy about that, and wondering, is this right for me? Is this not right for me? One of my friends once said, I'm not sure if I should be doing this. I feel like I'm on a tightrope all the time. And I said to her, so if you're on the tightrope and things go wrong, what happens? And she said, you fall off. And I went, right. Okay. So when you fall off the tightrope, what do? Like, either you decide the tightrope is just not your thing, or you get back on and you try it another way. And she was like, why do you always say things like that? Because I talk in bumper stickers. That's why. So are you on a tightrope with your career? Do you want to bail, or do you want to get up and do it another way? Do you want to keep it going? Do you want to keep it growing? If it stays the same, are you happy with that? Is that what you want? Because some people have a career that's going just fine and they're working just as much as they want to, and they're liking their stuff, and they have a photographer that they love that shoots their pictures every 6 months or every year, depending on how often you change. Some people are perfectly fine with the status quo. And if that's the case, great. You're perfectly fine with the status quo. If you want something more than the status quo, are you doing what you need to do? Let's all look long and hard at that. I personally have a bunch of things I'm working on. I threw the Mixed Assy project in my lap and I love it. I'm having fun. But I've been working on the Train the Trainers course, which I've made a lot of progress on. So I'm feeling good about that. So that's going to be coming out. So I'm doing video content, lesson content, and workbook content for that. I'm considering making that a live event as well, so people can come and like really work with me about how to be an acting coach, how to be a modeling coach, and really dig in deep for a while. So I'm going to probably put that on the calendar for this year, but also allow it as an online course. So that's one thing I've been working on. I started a list of in the markets where we are, every producer for a video or commercials, every advertising agent. I'm going into every designer I can find, every warehouse that's producing designs. I'm going into all of those and making a list. I feel like the website, the Gray Models and Talent website, has hit a place where I can now share it and be like really happy with it. So I'm going to do that and go poof. Here we are, people. Use us, use us, use us. I want to be your go-to. Let me be your go-to. I want to be your go-to. So that's what I've been working on, doing that research and populating that list every day. I know people don't see that activity on me, but that's my squirrel. I'm being my squirrel. What else am I doing? Oh, I'm looking into, starting the Raleigh-Durham Fashion Week. So all of those things, those are in my head right now. Those are things that I'm working on. Those are things that I'm trying to progress on and enrich with myself and with everybody else. Hopefully for everyone's benefit. Oh, I went away for a minute. I went away. I hope I'm back. Hope I'm back. Okay, I think I'm back. So I've got some plans. I'm sure that more will unfold with me. A lot of my talent said that they wanted an intensive weekend. So I put that on the calendar for the week that I get back from the industry network. So the week I come back from LA, that's in there. So I did that. I think I did it at a nice price point for people. So if you want to come here into my home studio and hang out with me for a weekend, I'll be doing 2.5 hours of modeling and then 2.5 hours of acting. No, the other way around. 2.5 hours of acting and then 2.5 hours of modeling on a Saturday and a Sunday. And then after that on the Sunday, I'll be doing Market Yourself, which doesn't go over the skills, but it talks about how you can design your comp cards, how you can, determine what order your things go into your portfolio, how to look at your social media, how do you create content, what are some resources for those things. So by Miracle and Kamisha, we are looking forward to a great year too. Have a good night. Give Miracle a hug for me. So looking forward to seeing her this weekend. So anyway, those are all things that I have planned and looking forward to having some people join me. Good night, McKinley too. I'm signing off here. This is my last thing. There is still regular classes going on every night of the week other than Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday are my days that I'm doing people that are, the hell, they're saying goodnight to Miracle instead of me. Okay, stay. Hear me out. I do classes on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I do take Friday evenings off. Saturday and Sunday, I have my industry network people getting ready, and then I'm doing the weekend intensive. So those are really the only things I do on the weekend. But every other night of the week, I am coaching. So if you need me, let me know. I'm here. I'm happy to have you. If you need somebody else, someplace else, let me know. I will help you find the right people that'll teach you the proper things and the right ways and the way to keep yourself motivated and not feel negative about this. I want you to feel positive about this journey because it's a wonderful, wonderful journey and it should be enriching your life every day. So those are things that I'm doing. I have a year-long program for people that want to learn everything from me. Some of my year-long members go on to be unlimited lifetimers. They never have to pay for acting classes again. And so I do have that program that's available and I'm doing some specials on that. So if you're interested, let me know. Oh, and new faces meetings. I started doing it a different way, and I'm not sure when I'm going to change it. I thought I would just do it for the holidays and not do December's, because I was at a fashion show on the first Friday of December. So I thought, no, it's not a good time. But I put them in the new faces community section of here. And I realized somebody told me that one of the videos wasn't showing up. So if you guys only watched 2 of them, there was one about my background and how I started in this crazy industry and what I've done to get me here. That's back on there. I don't know how the privacy setting got changed and it got moved from the playlist, but it's back in the playlist. So if you did miss that, please feel free to go back and take a look at it. But the new faces stuff is there. Watch it, share it with people if you think there's somebody that would be a benefit to Gray and somebody has a great attitude and is amazing and fun. Share that with your friends. In the About section of this group is a link that each of you personally can use that's different for every person that's a member. So I can tell if you gave somebody a recommendation to come on board and be part of the group. So feel free to share it. I tend to give gifts from time to time when people say, I just shared this with my friend. So I'd love to see that happen some more. Yeah, but I think that's all I have to say about tonight. I think that's enough of me talking tonight. I will be on again tomorrow. So more ideas, more thoughts, kind of will give a little insight into my brain and how it works and that kind of a thing. So love to see you back again here tomorrow night, same time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for participating. I love when people watch live instead of watching the replay. The replay will be here, though. I realize that it will record it, so that's cool. I'm so glad you're having fun, McKinley and Janelle and yeah, your whole family, John, all of you. I think you guys are super, super fun. I don't know how you don't have fun. You guys must be having fun like all the time. Like, I just want to be a fly on the wall and watch you have fun when you're not even in my class or talking to me or making more McKinley things. I want to see you enjoying yourself over and over again. Is so fun to watch. Yeah, so keep it coming and we'll just smile together. That's what this should be. It should be smiling together. So go out there, create, enjoy, laugh and smile. And let's enjoy this next year. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night. I don't know how to stop this. Oh, there it is.